I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving.
Peace. What's good, guys? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's dive into Impact Wrestling for May the 11th, 2023. This was a solid show. We're still building towards Under Siege, which is in 2.5 weeks from now. And it looks to be a decent card for the most part. So we kicked the show off with Masha Slamovich versus Killer Kelly. This was a decent, solid opener. It went about 10 minutes. So Masha Slamovich gets the win. I think it was like a roll-up pin or whatever. Post-match, Killer Kelly, she locked in the Killer Lock. The Killer Lock or whatever it's called. She locked in that. So I do like that they're going to continue this feud, and it's not over yet. So I do like this. And we could potentially get, later on down the line, probably a tag team between the two, where it's Masha and Killer Kelly as a team. I think that would be dope. That would kick major ass. Because, both are sort of kind of over. And Masha really needs something like that. I think that her being in a tag team for a while, that could rebuild her, because Masha, for the last maybe 5-6 months, she's not been booked as strong as she was when she previously was an Impact, especially last year. I feel like they should have put the title on Masha last year. They should have went with it while she was hot. And now she's been cooled off for quite some time. So I do think that maybe being in a tag with Killer Kelly would do wonders after they are done feuding. I think that would be the best situation for both of them. Moving on. So Kenny King, he has some advice for Sheldon Jean. He's in the locker room. So Kenny King said that Sheldon Jean had a chance to turn on his potential into something tonight. And he has an opportunity to prove himself against Nick Aldis. Moving on. So Tom Hannafin, he announced on commentary that Impact, they're doing a tour in Australia. That's pretty cool. I like that. I doubt they're going to get a real big crowd out. Probably not a lot. But that is good to see Impact doing some international stuff instead of just stuff in the U.S. and Canada. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Again, they should just book some type of venue where you can hold at least maybe 1,000 to 2,000 people. I don't know. Impact's not going to get a bunch out. And it sucks because Anthem could do better with Impact. Anthem could do way better. Way better than what they're doing with Impact. Moving on. So Gia Miller, she interviewed Trinity Fatu backstage. Trinity said that she was excited about her debut. She said that she was here to challenge herself. And then Jay Vidal, he interrupts and he takes a selfie. And then he walks off. And then Gia Miller, she explained to Trinity that Jay Vidal works here. And I'm just like, what the hell? Why are they doing this shit already? Again, they're probably going to feud Trinity with Giselle Shaw for a little bit. I think that's who's going to be the one to end up challenging her at Under Siege. It kind of makes sense. Because they're not going to do any intergender type shit. I don't think. At least I would hope not. But then again, it's Impact. They do some weird shit from time to time. Next, Nick Aldis versus Sheldon Jean. Nick Aldis wins via the Cloverleaf. Kenny King was on commentary. And he said on commentary that he's going to be the one to face Nick Aldis at Under Siege. So I do like that. That's pretty cool. Again, I like what they're doing with Nick Aldis. I really do. Nick Aldis, I'm making the bold prediction now that he'll be champion by Bound for Glory. I think that makes the most sense. Allowing Maclin to have a 6-month run is kind of solid if you really look at it, because Maclin more so comes off as a mid-card champion when in actuality you can actually build the company around Nick Aldis and have him be the face of the company. And that's what I would do. Again, this is why Jay White would have signed with Impact over AEW for that very reason. You know, just imagine building the company around Nick Aldis as well as Jay White. That's believable. That can get, eyes on the product, which it desperately needs for Impact. Moving on. Joe Hendry, he was backstage with Dirty Dango. They were continuing their investigation. So Johnny Swinger and Ziggy Dice, they walk in. Ziggy Dice complained about Santino taking back Swinger's win last week. Dango challenged Swinger to a match later on in the night. And then Dirty Dango calls Santino. Santino asks, who was it? And Dango said, it's Dango from wrestling. So they agreed to the match. And then Joe Hendry agreed to go to Dango's birthday party. And then Dango informed him that it was just the two of them. I'm like, what in the hell are they doing? This is some weird, freaky shit. I don't know. This is some weird, off-the-wall, batshit crazy stuff that they're going to do. They might be doing like a modern-day Billy and Chuck type thing. That's what they actually might do. I hope not, but it seems like that's where they're going with all of this. I know that some people have pitched that Fandango is going to go heel, but that's not believable for Dirty Dango to go heel. Dirty Dango is like the most over. As well as Joe Hendry. He's super over as a babyface. So, I don't know. Moving on, we had part 3 of Gia Miller's sit-down interview with Frankie Kazarian. So, Frankie Kazarian says that he saw his match against Josh Alexander as perhaps his only way to, his only chance to the world title. To win the world title, my bad. Kazarian said it's still his goal. He said despite his recent matches, the world title is still on his mind. He wants to be the guy to lift people up. He said he wants to help the company that put him on the map. He said that it will be his legacy. So I do like this. Again, they'll probably feud him with Maclin. I don't know when and I don't know how, but maybe at Slammiversary. I think that would be cool, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but Steve Maclin versus Frankie Kazarian, that's pretty cool. So Maclin has to have some credible opponents, at least until he gets to Nick Aldis. Next, Decay versus the Good Hands. So John Schuyler, he got on the mic. He called the Chicago fans a dumpster fire. He said that the Chicago Cubs had a better chance of winning the World Series than Decay does of beating them. So the Good Hands, they get the win via Bryan Myers getting involved. And you guys know I hate Bryan Myers. Bryan Myers fucking sucks. He sucks. Enough said. Moving on. It sucks that Decay lost. So Champagne Singh and Shera, they were talking to Steve Maclin backstage. Maclin was pissed off that he had to face Rhino this week. He said that he blamed both Shera and Champagne Singh and said their partnership was over. And then Steve Maclin walks off, and then Shera said they had to fix this. And then Singh said that he had an idea. So Shera and Champagne Singh, they attacked Heath from behind. They took him out. Security broke it up. Rhino, he came in. He was pissed off. And then a referee informed him that his match was next. And security has called a doctor to look in on Heath. So, Steve Maclin versus Rhino for the Impact World Championship. Steve Maclin wins via the gore. Post-match, Steve Maclin goes batshit crazy and beats the shit out of Rhino with a steel chair. He breaks his leg with a shovel on a steel chair. So that was great. I loved it. Tom Hannifin called him a son of a bitch. So I do like that. This was great. So Rhino's going to be out for a minute. I'm guessing they're going to write him off for a while. He's probably going to go and maybe do backstage producing. I don't know. Again, there's not much else he can do within the industry. He's done it all. So I think that would be the best use of Rhino instead of having him wrestle. But I'm glad that Maclin did this. It got him a lot of heat. And they being in the crowd, booed the shit out of Maclin. Like, this was great. I absolutely loved it. This is perfect. And officials, they put Rhino on a stretcher. So I enjoyed that. So Scott D'Amore told Steve Maclin that they would take care of this. Scott D'Amore and Maclin, they argued outside the ambulance. Scott D'Amore said the match under siege will be a no DQ match. And then Steve Maclin, he tried to take out Rhino once again, but PCO showed up and made the save. Again, I'm not too high on Maclin and PCO. To me, that's not main event material. That's something that if you really look at it on paper, that's something that you would do to, like, open up the show or maybe put it on, like, third or fourth. If you're doing, like, a 6 or 7 match card, that would go on for me, if I was booking things, probably number 3 on the card. So I hope that this doesn't main event at all. And I don't think it will, because there's not much that you can do, really. They haven't really done much with PCO and Maclin. They haven't. So I don't know. So making it a no DQ match really does nothing to me anyway. It does nothing for me. So Joe Hendry, he came out on the mic. The fans saying that we would believe. Joe Hendry talked about his nose injury. He said most people, it would be a career ender. He also said that he talked to Michael Jordan on the phone, and he allegedly defied Jordan's advice, and he would continue wrestling. And then he introduces Dirty Dango. So Dirty Dango gets the win on Ziggy Dice. This match lasted 2 minutes. It was like a suplex for the 1, 2, 3. So I'm like, oh my God. So I kind of like this. Again, it's decent comedy. What is not good is Diener and the design. So the design, they had a vignette. So Diener said that Sami Callihan had a chance of being part of something bigger than himself, but he chose betrayal, and it cost him pain. Diener said if Sami continues down the path, he'll get more pain. He talked about Sami trying to find backup. Diener says he has more than just a family. He has an army. So then the guys in yellow hoods, they walk in, and then 2 of the guys, they attacked the group, and it turned out to be Sami Callihan and Rich Swann, and then security broke up the brawl. Again, I'm not excited for this at all. I don't care about the design at all. They suck. The best bet is to go ahead and allow Angels, a.k.a. Alan Angels, to go back into the X division and find a character that way, and then have Diener be Khan's mouthpiece and kind of give Khan somewhat of a push. But again, the design act with me is not over. I am totally over this shit. It is so nauseating and boring. Moving on. Bryan Myers, he ran into Moose backstage. Moose asked why Bryan Myers was helping the Good Hands. Myers said they could still be a team and he could still mentor the Good Hands. And Moose said that he's focused on looking for, becoming world champion. And then the Good Hands, they said that they were excited about being a part of the learning tree. Again, this is fine, but we all know that this is leading for Bryan Myers to turn on Moose, them having a little feud. Again, I do think that Moose can be built back up and be world champion again, but to me, that ship has kind of sailed. And I like Moose. Moose is solid for the most part, but he's just been in that low mid-card for a good 6 to 8 months, if not longer than that. And I hate it for him. Moving on. So we got the main event. That was the Coven versus Deonna Purrazzo and Jordynne Grace for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships. So the Coven, they get the win here. Post-match, the Coven, they attacked Jordynne Grace. Then Trinity, she came out and she made the save. She hit a rearview mirror on Kylan King. And then Trinity, she celebrates for Jordynne Grace, and she, the two of them shake hands, and then Trinity celebrated, and then we went off the air. So that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Impact this week was solid like it was last week. Again, we're slowly building to Under Siege. Hopefully we have no more than about 6 matches on the card. Thankfully, there was no Rosemary stuff on the show, so that was good. Overall, this was a decent show, but what did you guys think? Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos. I'll catch you guys later. A little piece of advice, Shawn Michaels. Scott D'Amore, he booked 6 matches on the show for 2 hours. Let's see if you can do the same for NXT. Peace.